Jude. Gary.
Ron.
Mel.
Jane.
Tony. Adrian.
Carl.
Jeanette.
Tess. Jerry.
Judy.
And Bob and Kat.
Well, same old, same old. Same old. And for a change, the same old.
But I bet it'll be different.
Fresh and new.
We start off, we can't teach you anything here, and we can't tell you anything. Understand that. Right from the start. Because all we do is point toward and ask you to look to where we're pointing to see for yourself. And it's only you that can see for yourself. That's what we say. Nobody can give it to you, no matter what you've been told or what you believe. Nobody can give it to you, and there's nothing you can get except recognise your own true nature, the natural state that you actually are, right here, right now. And realise it's always right here, right now, wherever you may be. That's the way I point to it. I'm not talking to anybody. I'm not talking to any mind. I'm talking to that I am, that sense of presence that expresses or translates through the mind as the thought I am. Just to this and nothing else. So it's not your body or your mind, but that sense of presence. That sense of presence is the actuality that you are. So, start from the fact, whether you believe it or know it or not, that you are already that. And isn't that the Mahavakya, or the great mantra? I am that, this is that, everything is that. What is the that? Well, innately you know what that is. Because you say, that's a chair, that's a carpet, that's a tree, that's the flower, that's the sky, that's everything is that which we put words or labels on. And the words and labels is what discriminates it. What are words? Well, when you look at it and look into see that words are nothing but thoughts, labels. And when you investigate that, you see that word is not the real, it's not the thing. Take the word water. Can you drink the word? Can you wash in the word? Can you swim in the word? Can you drown in the word? The word fire, does it burn your mouth when you speak it? Can you cook with the word? Can you eat yourself with the word? So maybe you might take another look at this belief that you are this person, this separate entity, this individual, made up of words, concepts, ideas. So the other thing you need to look at too and realise that every word you've ever spoken or ever likely to speak has been learnt. You weren't born with any words. So your word is not your natural state. It's something that's been acquired along the line. Picking up words. And as I just pointed out, the word is not the thing. So it might make you resonate or take another look at what you believed yourself to be all this time. This person, this individual. Where does that word person come from? An ancient language, persona, the mask. We've lost sight of what it actually meant in the first place. And I am this person you believe yourself to be. And you would label the person, me, Bob, or the Australian, the good fellow, or whatever I think that persona is. And all those words are concepts. Concepts are mental constructs. So we've formed a conceptual image of what we believe ourselves to be. And taken it to be real because we've never investigated or questioned it. We've taken it for granted because we learnt these words from our parents. And then we went to school and we learnt more words from school than our friends and picked up words ourselves. and acquired a great vocabulary of words. And you're probably still learning words to this day. I am, but I'm forgetting a hell of a lot too, and I'll get aged and minds are going away. I'm not remembering so much. So I've got this label of word around myself and taken that conceptual image to be what I actually am. But is an image the reality? Look in that mirror at the end of the room there. What do you see in it? You'll say, you see reflections. And you can't say those reflections are not there, but go up to the mirror and try and grab a reflection out of the mirror. And you can't say that, you can't grab anything. It's a poor analogy because the mirror needs something outside itself to reflect in it. But this, all this appearance and all this manifestation that's appearing in the screen, the basic screen of stillness or emptiness or silence, is contained in it. But the mirror needs something outside itself to reflect that. So you go up and grab one of those reflections out of the mirror, what will you grab? You'll only grab the glass. And then you investigate it and see it's on a reflecting surface. That glass has got a back in it. It covers it, enables it to reflect. And so the reflections are nothing but images in the mirror. And we've got all these conceptual images about ourselves. And the Sarkadata tells you that nothing can trouble you except your own imagination. Now break that word imagination down to imagine. Imagine. And that's what we're doing all the time. We're forming conceptual or mental images, taking them to be real. And there's no image that is the actuality, though they seem to be real. And they tell you in the scriptures, in the Buddha scriptures, that this manifestation is Maya. It's illusion, just like those images are not real. They're only appearances in the mirror. So that's all this manifestation, appearances in the cognizing emptiness, what they call the cognizing emptiness. Seemingly so, seemingly real. And nothing can trouble you except your own imagination. So that's all our problems are. We're imagining this, imaging that, and imaging that, this and the other, taking them to be real. And we never question them. And when we look at it and start to investigate, and I tell you that the false cannot stand up to investigation. And it's a fact. If you take some of these beliefs you believed in and question them, put them to the test, question them, really look into them, they'll fall apart if they're false. If they're the actual, you can't change them, alter them, modify or correct them. They're just what is. So this image I have about myself, when does it begin? And you realise, can you remember your birth? Well, ask you that for a start of, can you remember your birth? And you say, no, I can't remember my birth. Nobody can remember your birth. And you realise that you didn't start remembering anything until you learnt words. At about the age of two and a half, some might be younger, some might be older, all depends on how much energy or intelligence is in that particular pattern. But you had no words to that point. But you were growing in the womb. You didn't need any words there. When you were born, you didn't need any words for the first couple of years of your life. You got on all right without them, with the age of your parents. And from that time on, when you learnt words, taking the word to be real without questioning it, you learnt words like I or me or Bob. The parents told you your name's Bob or whatever your name is. You're a good boy or you're not so good, you're happy or unhappy. And I learnt these words. Well, that word's I and me, and I realise that in the capacity of reasoning which develops when we learn those words, that reasoning said that I am Bob. That is what I am. And you looked out there and you saw all these other pattern shapes and forms and you said, that's not me. That doesn't fit me or I, so it can't be me. And as soon as that came about, that's when the sense of separation came upon you. And with that sense of separation came insecurity and vulnerability. Because as you're a little child and you see something you don't understand or know what it is, you're naturally unsure of it, a bit scared of it, and feel separate from it, isolated from it. And that separation came upon us. And we've reinforced it ever since. And taken on the belief that I am this person, this individual, and separated myself from the rest of it. These are the things we need to look at and see. With that sense of separation came insecurity and vulnerability. If you see something you don't know what it is, it makes you insecure and vulnerable. You're not sure of it. And with that insecurity and vulnerability comes the anger, the fear, the depression, the self-pity, the remorse, the guilt, the jealousy, the envy, all these psychological problems come up. Because in it, you're unsure of what it is and insecure about it and got feelings and sensations about it, which you imagine what it might be. And you can't do much with that I or me to make it seem so real and solid. What we do to it, we relate it to some past event, experience and condition. So I'm Bob, the Australian, I'm a good fella, or I'm not so good, or I've had a bad childhood, I'm unhappy, I'm depressed, or all of it onto that sense of me, I. And I form this conceptual image, an image based on past events, experiences, and what's the other one? And conditioning. So I've got this conceptual image, and that's what we call the reference point, the self-centre or the ego, a conceptual image. And realise if it's made on past events, conditioning, experience, it must be a dead image. It's not what is right now. It's an image that's dead and gone. And that's what we call the reference point, the self-centre or the ego. And everything we make, everything relative to that image. We relate it to me, Bob, the Australian, good fella. I like it, I don't like it, it's good, it's bad, it's pleasant, it's fine. And relationship or relativity is dualism. If you're relating to something, that means you're not one with it. It's relative to what you don't, what you are, what you believe yourself to be. Relationship is dualism. And I tell you, and it's true when you understand, there's absolutely no duality in non-duality. And there's no non-duality in duality. It's only the divisions and labels we put on them, but making separate words out of them. And they're seemingly separate, just like every word you speak, ever spoken or ever likely to speak, a vibrating a pattern of energy is always vibrating dualistically. Watch your mind and see for yourself. Whatever thought comes up, you try to see either good or bad, it's pleasant, painful, happy, sad, loving, hating, positive, negativity. That's the way thinking happens. It's a vibration, a movement of energy. And the boundaries we put upon it are these words we've learnt or acquired. If you haven't got any words, what boundaries are you going to put on it? And where's it going to lodge if it's not encapsulated or enclosed in those boundaries? Good, when it gets the word good, the vibration, that's the end of it. It goes to bad, pleasant, painful. It lodges up against those concepts we believe. And that's the finish of it. We're encaged in this group of concepts. And the word or the concept is not the thing. Go back to this idea of birth. You don't remember your birth. When did you begin? Are you this body with all the conceptual images you've got of this, or are you this mind? Innately, you already know. Everybody already knows they're not the body, because you don't just say my body, my mind. Whose body? Is it the body's body? Or is it the mind's body? When it's my body, my mind. But we take it to believe it's this mind body. But are you the body? Have a look. Investigate. What's the body made up of? The body's made up of elements. Made up of air, water, earth, fire and space. Just like the elements around you. So if you think you're separate from anything, we're a separate entity, an individual, a person, separate yourself from those elements. Make sure that you are separate if you think you're separate. Separate yourself from the elements. And then when you try to separate yourself from the elements, you realise you can't. So you're not separate at all. Have a look at it. Separate yourself from the air. Stop breathing. How long would you last if they weren't breathing? Separate yourself from the water. Your body's 80% water. How long would you last if you didn't drink any water? Separate yourself from the fire, the body temperature. How long would you last without that body temperature? You'd get hypothermia and die. Separate yourself from the earth. Get off the earth. Jump out into space if you can and live there. If you can. Or get out of space. You can't get out of it. It's not separate from the earth or the space. Or anything at all when it comes to it. We've taken on the belief because we're expressing through this pattern, shape and form, which, as they say, the nama rupa, sat chit ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss, nama rupa, the name and form are maya. They're illusion. That label we've got about ourselves and the form we live in these bodies are illusion. A phenomenal manifestation. And your dictionary definition of phenomena is that which appears to be. Appearance is only seemingly so, like the water in the mirage. It appears to be water in the mirage. When you drive up to it, what happens to it? It disappears. A fellow stepped out of the room one night and stepped on a wet piece of rope. He thought it was a snake. When it was investigated, the fellow shined a torch on it and saw it. It wasn't a snake at all. It only appeared to be so. The rainbow appears to be something solid. It's only the mist shining through the sun and appearing on the background of space, which is like a mirror and reflects in it. But it never was so. So the maya, or the illusion, is a phenomenal manifestation. It only appears to be so. Investigate it, and again, and see for yourself. So you can't separate yourself from any of these elements. So that's all this body is the elements that seemingly solidified and pattern-shaped and formed, as it does in the trees, the flowers, the birds, the insects, the earth, the sun, the sky and everything else, and seemingly it's all appearance only, all is seemingly solid. Just like all the things that are happening in your dream are seemingly real, and solid and substantial. When you wake up in the dream, what happens to them? They disappear, they're not there at all. And we don't realise it. We wake up into this dream. This is a waking dream. And this dream seems more real than the sleep dream because it has a seeming continuity. It seemingly continues from every night where it left off. When you wake up in the morning, it seemingly carries on from there. And all the things that pattern, shape and form it seem to continue and are real also. So you can't really say you are the body. What about the mind? Again, innately you know you're not the mind because you say my mind. Just like my house, my car. This one seems a harder one because we add more to it. We think it's myself. We think this mind, or this conceptual image we have about ourselves, this body, mind, and all that goes on it, is myself. It's the self. But don't the scriptures tell you there's only one self? It's not a personal self. It's the one self that expresses pattern, shapes and forms of everything. And it's self-knowing, it's self-shining, it's self-aware, self-seeing. We think, I see, I'm hearing, I'm related to me, that personal self, and think we're doing all those things. The person is not the thing, it's not the reality. And it's that ego that is the cause of all their problems, I tell you in Scripture. Ego is the problem. And they tell you above all we must be this selfishness, we must, or it kills us. It does if we keep believing. It causes all our psychological problems. It takes us into addictive behaviours and all the rest of it because we think we're going to make that self whole or complete. Why haven't you? You've tried for years, you've looked into it. If you're searching on this so-called path, you look for years, you've meditated, you've repeated this mantra, you've gone to this, that thing. Never found it. Why? Intelligence, people? Why haven't you found? You worked out so many other things in the mind. Mightn't it just dawn on you after all this time? Maybe I've been looking in the wrong direction. I've been looking all this time in the mind. And we're told that the answer is not in the mind. You'll never find the answer in the mind. And they point that out. You'll never get peace of mind. The mind can never be at peace. And you look at that and you'll know it's damn true because another concept will come, another thought will come, and they tell you where the peace is. The peace is where the mind is not. That's why they call it the peace that passes all understanding. And in that word passes all understanding, it means you're never going to grasp with a concept or any idea or any image. That's all understanding is mentation, thinking. So what way is there out of the mind? When you investigate that, to say every direction I look will always be in the mind. I look at it this way, that way, high ways, low ways, up, down, sideways, any ways at all will always be in the mind, a thought or a concept. The only way out of the mind is full stop. Period, as they say in America. Full stop. Don't go there. And you realise that the entity, the individual person you think you are, can't do anything at all. You realise you won't be able to stop that mind. So if you can't stop it, what are you going to do? Don't take it on board in the first place. Just don't go there. Same any directing you there, don't go there. That's what they say. You know, if you can't stop some of these habit patterns, don't pick it up in the first place. If you're not picking it up, it's not going to affect you. Don't fixate on it. Take it on board. And sooner or later it's going to stop. It'll stop when you go to sleep. Don't start again in the next morning. Sit a while in the quiet without putting labels on anything. And labels will come in eventually, of course, because they're part of everyday living, the thinking. But the gaps when the pause is there, the clarity, more clarity will come about when the thought is paused. Go outside on a cloudy day. Would you say the sun's not in the sky? It's seemingly blocked out by the cloud. But you know the cloud can never block out the sun because you've reasoned it and reckoned it and seen it. The sun never leaves the sky, and you know the truth about it. And the truth will set you free of the belief that the clouds are blocked off the sun, though it's seemingly blocked out. Investigate that one. Ask yourself what forms the cloud. And you realise the sun itself forms the cloud. All the sun does is shine. It's constantly self-shining. Nobody's up there lighting it up and putting fuel in it because it shines of itself. Just like the functioning in this pattern shines of itself. The self-shining, ever-fresh presence awareness, as they put it in some of the scriptures. It's self-shining, ever-fresh, ever new. All the sun does is shine. But in that radiance of shining and the heat, the radiance, what does it do? It naturally, without doing anything about it at all, water evaporates from the heat. And put the heat on the kettle, what does it do? It'll evaporate that water. So it does out there. Radiance shining on the sea or the lake or wherever it is will evaporate the water. The water rises and that radiance might cause a cloud, a stirring and everything, cause a cloud, a wind to blow, which will cool the water vapour down and forms a cloud. Or blow it away, or bring it down as rain when it's become more solid, more substantial. And that's where you need to understand that thought, feeling and emotion are just like steam, water and ice, the way it works. Steam is very subtle, you can't see it till it clouds a little bit, but when it's coming directly out of the spout of the kettle, you'll burn yourself, but you won't see anything there. But when it gets a bit further, it'll form as steam, water vapour. And then, as it cools down, it'll become water. As it cools down a bit more, it'll become ice, or snow. It seemingly solidifies. Thinking is the same way, thought, feeling and emotion. Thought's very subtle. When it becomes the feeling, the sensation, we put a word label on it. And it becomes, then it'll bring the emotion in the body. The fear, the anxiety, the tears, being stressed and all the rest of it. So it's all relative to these words we've learned. See how that works in the body. Something comes up and I like it. How do you know? How do you know you like anything? Well, you've experienced it before, it feels good, or joyful, or happy. You like it. And don't we want to be in that like, things we like all the time? We don't want them to go away. We don't want to be unhappy, sad or depressed. We want the things we like. Not realising that this manifestation is transient. And I mean that, it's constantly changing. It's changing right here and now. You haven't got the same body you walked into this room with. There are cells, thousands of them dying right now and being replaced. So it's transient. Well, you don't want it to go. What are you going to do? So this believed in entity that thinks it has some power, an independent nature of itself, resists it. And any resistance you are in conflict. And any conflict you are in is disease. It's uneasiness, it's anxiety, it's fear, depression. So that's what starts to happen. Resistance, conflict and disease. Because we believed in this entity. The energy of belief in it and makes it seemingly substantial and real. Something comes up and I don't like, the same thing happens. The things we don't like, we don't want to hang on to them. We try to force them out, get rid of them. And that forcing them out and trying to get rid of them is resistance again. And the resistance is conflict again. And the conflict is disease, or runniness, fear, anger, depression, guilt, shame, remorse, whatever. That's what's constantly going on in these patterns. Constantly going on. That's why the story never stops. And you know yourself when you see it. I see through this and it's good and on it, but as soon as the but comes out, I lost it. And have you lost it? You haven't. And from that but, it doesn't stay at the but, you add another story to it, or the why, or the when, or the how, or what if. If I see through this one, I'll get this one, the next one will be better. Constantly and ever carrying on, never ceasing for a moment. Till the pause of thought comes about and the recognition comes about, you see. Because this conceptual image you believe yourself to be, if it were the truth, if it were the reality of it, you wouldn't lose sight of it. You wouldn't want to lose sight of it because it would be the end of you. But each and every one of us give it up gladly each night when we go to sleep. We give it away. And pick it up again next morning when you wake up. But while you're asleep, if you were that, you wouldn't have come out of that sleep. It would have been the end of you. But as I say, you gladly give it up, but yet the heart's still beating, the breathing's still happening, hair and fingernails are going, food, so many things are going on in that pattern, even in sleep. But the thinking has stopped. Unless the dream starts, which is more thoughts and take you to another story. So then you might understand when Shakespeare tells you that nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. And you realise that's a damn fact. Either good or bad, pleasant, painful, happy or sad, true thought. If it's not that, it's just pure sensation, which we put a label on. This is fear, this is anger, this is stress, or this is happiness, this is love. And the Sagata tells you the same thing. There's nothing can trouble you excepting your own imagination. Imagination, break it down to image in. And that's where all your troubles come from. That's exactly what it is. That's what's troubling you. What we are imaging in, what we are thinking, what we are feeling, sensation, putting labels on the sensations, calling this one fear, this one anger, this one something else, something else. The constant labelling, conceptualizing. And they tell you again, in one of the statements of Buddhism, in Buddhism will tell you, the great perfection is non-conceptual awareness. There it is in one sentence. Non-conceptual awareness. Are you unaware right now? No, you must be not unaware, so you must be aware. And that awareness is there right now, not adding any concepts onto it until you start thinking about what this idiot's saying and blah, blah, blah. You know, the concepts will come up on it. But in the pure listening, pure concept will be, the recognizing will go on. It will recognise its own essence, what you are. And the only thing that's ever troubled us is this, what we are imagining. Imaging in, creating mental images. Like in the mirror, they are images. They're not real. You can go up and grab your reflection out of the mirror if you can. And that's why I can't tell you anything. I can't teach you anything. Can one of those reflections in the mirror tell the other reflection, do this or do that? Impossible. That's what we point to, and there's a few other things I add to it, but I don't want to take up all the time. Give you a chance to, got any doubt, any questions, any arguments, or if you've looked into this stuff, express it, what you've understood. And you might express it in slightly different ways where somebody will resonate or recognise with it. And that's all that needs to happen. In the hearing of this, there is a resonation. Something innately, that essence that you are innately in it will resonate with it. And this is true, this is real. Investigate it and see it. A point that might use those terms or words to express it. And that's what they point out. It's a cognizing emptiness. It's not, we've taken that to believe that we are cognizing the emptiness. Cognizing is just another word for knowing, or being, or awareing, whatever terms you like to it. And we think we are the cognizing. We are cognizing this emptiness within. But it's not that way at all. It means that the emptiness itself is cognizing. It's suffused with that innate intelligence. The emptiness is. That's how all the pattern shapes and forms could appear if there wasn't that innate intelligence in it. It's the emptiness itself that's cognizing. And the Buddha pointed out, emptiness is form, telling you that. It's emptiness. If it wasn't cognizing or knowing or in that suffused with that intelligence, it wouldn't be able to pattern, shape or form or anything. And those forms, he turned it around the other way, and those forms are nothing but the emptiness. Emptiness is form, and form is nothing but the emptiness. But we think we are the cognizing, and all the forms that are appearing in it, we take them to be real. But they are empty, seemingly solid, substantial, and empty. That's why I don't use the term God. You can get confused with that term. There are that many different labels for God. Which one are you going to take? And it tells you in the Bible, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, the Word was God. That's all that God is a word. All things were made by Him, by the Word. And that's what we're doing. We put word labels on all these things and put the labels and take them to be real. There was nothing made that was made without the Word. And isn't that true of you? When did you begin? You don't remember your birth, 2 years later or something, when you learnt words. That's when you start, the capacity of reasoning develops you, and all those words had some meaning into them, or labels into them. But the manifestation, without any words, is just as it is. What is means unaltered, unmodified, uncorrected. You know it, you know the shape and form, but you don't necessarily have to label it. The cat doesn't label it. He knows the shape and form and discriminate the shapes and forms, but he's not putting any labels on anything. They make sounds, got no words to put labels on with. And another cat can get the meaning in those sounds. One can be a call to meet another cat, another be a call of danger, or a fear, or whatever. That's in the birds, animals, insects, and everything like that. They've got to call sounds. Sound is a vibration. A vibration is a movement of energy. So I call it, instead of using the term God, because when I talk about God, if I talked about God, you relate it to whatever your traditional belief was. If you're a Christian, you'd relate it to Christ or somebody else or whatever. If you're a Buddhist, you relate it to something else again, or a Muslim, you relate it to Allah, or somebody else again, or somebody other. Hindus have got 1,000 names of Vishnu, hundreds of names of this thing called God. But it's just the word. I use the term intelligence energy, but that is not it either. Just to describe it, we use words or labels to describe or express anything. That's their way of functioning. That's the capacity of reasoning that's developed in us, to be able to form words and utilise words. And what's intelligence? Not your intellect. I'm not talking about your English. I'm talking about the same intelligence that's rolling the earth around the sun, that's forming galaxies out there, planets moving around, tides coming in and out, seasons coming and going. It's the same intelligence that's breathing you. It's beating your heart. It's growing your hair in your fingernails. It's digesting your food. It's replacing cells in your body. And all those things are happening are an activity, a movement. And what's an activity? A movement of energy, energy vibrating. So that's where we get the term intelligence energy, the activity of knowing. Anyone who is not knowing right now, no, you'll say, oh, I'm knowing. Anyone who is not existing right now, no, I'm existing. Anyone who is not conscious or unaware, no, I'm aware, I'm a conscious. Anyone who's not happy to be, you wouldn't be dead for quids, would you? If had somebody who's going to come along and say it's the end right now, you'd cause a bit of a panic about it. You don't want it. So that's the Satchitananda. Existence, consciousness, bliss. Or being, knowing, loving to be. And I've just pointed out, and you've just seen it, you are that already. But we go into the name and form, the Maya, taking the name and form to be real. So there it is, away you go.
So the mind and the intellect don't exist.
Pardon?
The mind and the intellect don't exist.
The mind and the intellect, they don't exist.
No, they're vibrations. No. It's the way that life or intelligence expresses through this thing we call the mind. But there's nothing. Show me a mind. Can you think anything substantial? I mean, there's nothing but conceptualizing. There's nothing but the thing.
And the body?
The body, the same. The body's just a vibrating pattern of energy. You can break it into elements, break those elements down to subatomic particles. Those subatomic particles are pure energy. It's all energy. What do you call energy? Show me energy. You can't. But you must recognise it's seemingly a subtle movement or a vibration. And it's got these patterns to display or express through, which can be very useful, can be very joyful. But the psychological shit that goes on in it is self-destructive. We destroy ourselves by the belief, and then it's fear, the anger, the depression, the guilt, the shame and remorse, and the egoic things, self-gratification. We want to gratify that ego, try and make it real and conceptual. Why would you rob somebody if it wasn't for self-gratification, if you didn't have it? Why would you rape somebody? Why would you want what the other person's got? And everybody will have a concept about you, you'll have a concept about everybody else. And you've got this concept about yourself. Which concept would be right? When you realise that all the concept is a mental construct, and there's no concept right, well, what would you want of the other person then? Who's superior to you then, or who's inferior to you, if you haven't got this concept of it? And what would you want of that? So the whole lot of it, if we weren't trying to gratify this conceptual image, this ego, think we're lacking something and fearful. See that you already are the totality. Always have.
Left to do, there's nothing left to think.
Pardon?
Nothing left to do, nothing left to think.
No, but the thinking and doing will happen as it always has done. Have you? What's your next thought going to be?
I don't know.
No. If you don't know, that realises you're not thinking a thought. Thoughts must arise. But when you think, oh, I think this thought, you formed a subject, a thinker. And the thought you're thinking, it's good or bad or whatever it is, becomes the object. So thinking, which is a spontaneous natural functioning, has been divided into subject-object duality. But can there be a thinker without thinking? Can there be the thought without thinking? No, that division is conceptual, it's not so. You're seeing right now and you say, oh, I see. Oh, I see the chair. You relate the I see become the subject. And the chair becomes the object. But can there be a seer without seeing? Can there be a subject without seeing?
We've become so we've formed habit around.
Yeah, we've habitually taken on board. Our parents, school, society told us, and we believed in it. Have a look at that word belief. The definition of belief is an unquestioned acceptance of something in the absence of reason. We haven't reasoned it out, we've just taken it on face value, what our parents told us and what our schools tell us. Acceptance of an alleged fact. We allege they are the facts without positive knowledge or proof. If you go to court and you're charged with something, they've got to prove those allegations again. Otherwise, a lot of times they don't. They just believe it. They charge them with false belief. And so the belief is never the actual. But we put that energy of belief into, because we've never questioned it, take it to be real, and make things seemingly real.
So the personality is just
A fiction. Yeah, it's a fiction. A vibrating pattern. Just like those bodies, seemingly solid, are vibrating patterns of energy also that are seemingly solidified. Just like steam become water and it becomes ice or something solid. Thoughts, feeling and emotion function the same way. Thoughts are very, very subtle. With the thought, the feeling will come about, which is a sensation. And then we put the conceptual thoughts on that sensation. This one's fear, this is an anger. And then the emotion will come. The anger, the fear, the tears, the heartbreak, all come around. So it's seemingly more solidified then from the subtle vibration of a very subtle thought.
But you're still a unique pattern of energy. Personality, persona, if you break that down, it's we've been told that we're separate, we've been told we're a person, and then they relate everything to that self-centre or the persona.
Yeah, we've become so, I can't find a word,
Habitually stuck.
habitually stuck in a way of being that we're not. We're too afraid to let go and be.
Well, we already are, so that's a given. Nothing, but the mind takes us on a merry chase.
But the mind doesn't exist.
The memory takes us on a merry
The memory
chase.
doesn't exist.
Not in reality, no, but it appears to. It appears to when we're stuck in disease,
But only
No.
because you hold on to it.
Well, because there's an alleged me that's holding on to it, yeah. But that's what Bob's
Which is
saying.
part of Namarupa.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
right, Maya, yeah.
And we were conditioned this way, like since early childhood, when we were, when we were born and we were little and we were craving attention because we needed it for survival, and we were craving approval of parents. We were given a label. We were understanding what everything is by labeling it. We didn't understand what things are by giving it a name. But the illusion, when we already kind of transitioned from the pure sense of being into the conceptualizing everything, we gave ourselves a concept, and throughout life we built on that concept. We built the story around it.
Why am I listening to you and why don't I just be? I mean, all these words that we keep spinning around the room are just words. Why am I listening?
Yeah.
Any of them
Why?
Any of them resonate?
I'm not asking you anything. I'm just throwing
It's
Yes.
coming up.
vibration.
It's
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is it all just part of experience?
That's how it expresses itself.
Experiencing.
Experiencing,
Mm-hmm.
and we're seeing through the eyes of experiencing awareness
Mm.
and consciousness.
Experiencing, seeing, tasting. The ing gives us something that's happening in the immediacy. And go back, we'll have a look, we didn't go into this, but how we started in the first place. When did you begin? Go back as far as your father and your mother. That pattern of energy, intelligence energy, you call your father, through the prana, through the breath, and the food he's eating, enabled in that pattern a little microscopic particle called a sperm to form. You can't see it with your naked eye. That sperm was suffused with innate intelligence, the same intelligence that's for you right now. The same in your mother. In that pattern, shape and form you call a mother, enable another pattern of energy called an ovum, an egg to form in that pattern. Now that egg, that ovum was suffused with intelligence. It attached itself to the wall of the uterus. It wasn't floating around accidentally. It knew what to do to attach itself. And when that sperm knew what to do also, it swam to the ovum, put it under a microscope, and you'll see it has the capacity for swimming. Couldn't do that without the intelligence, could it? And the sperm and the ovum the same. When those two came together, what happened? The intelligence energy in both of them, and through the genes, the food and everything else, doubled that cell, doubled it again, and formed the little embryo, the little fetus. What were you doing about it then? You just say, I've got to do this or do that, nothing. But it grew you naturally, inevitably. And when you were born, again, it's grown you ever since then, and it's the very life essence of you right now that you've never separated from at all. And separate with all the rest. There's only one life essence in this universe.
We're all just experiencing this intelligence.
Hmm?
We're just experiencing this intelligence constantly. From a sperm to an egg, to this conversation, to that camera, to the air, to our hearts beating, to everything.
It's the one essence that pattern shines and forms and everything. That's what non-duality is. One without a second, not two. Only the one essence. I call it essence, and that's just a label too. I call it intelligence energy, that's just a label too. But that same intelligence formed this cosmos, patterning, shaping, forming, and expressing through it as it is, right in this immediacy. You look at time and see time's a mental concept out there. If you ask yourself if it's the past, if I don't think about it, what can you say about it? Nothing. Is there a future if you don't think about it? You can't. But you'll say, I was in the past. I'll say, okay, go back and try and live yesterday. Try and live a moment ago. Try and live last week. You can't go back and live it, but you can recall it. But what you recall, the only actuality is you're giving it when you're recalling it at this moment. Because there's nobody in this room can tell me what you thought a minute ago now, unless you recall it. Have a look at that and see if it's a fact or not.
What's changing these vibrations? What's moving, changing?
What's moving?
What's
These
moving,
vibrations.
changing those
It's a
vibrations?
spontaneous happening. A subtle, seeming, not even a full movement, subtle stir or a pulsation or a throb that happens of itself.
So I can choose to go with the flow, so to speak, or wrestle with it and be in suffering.
When you say that, you say, I can.
Yeah, no, there's no I. Yeah.
Well,
But
yes, if there's no I,
it
sure.
would defy that.
Well, that's it. If it resonates and recognised naturally, you'll go to where the pleasure or the joy is, the sense of well-being, being well. You don't want to be in the fear or the anxiety or the stress. In that resonation, you'll recognise the oneness with it.
So rather than you choosing to go somewhere, you just get off the way and see where the energy kind of flows naturally.
And we drop the whole I.
Yeah, drop the conceptualizing, the narrative self that constantly comments and gives a justification to everything. And in the analyzing, comparing, all that, and in that silence there, the energy naturally moves all the time, just like a heart expanding, contracting, breathing. It naturally happens. Same naturally happens that you get up in the morning and you eat and you go to the toilet. It's natural functioning, just like animals. The difference is only with the suffering creator narrative self, which is constantly telling you that what you do is wrong, or what you are is wrong, or you shouldn't be doing this, or you should be, be more productive, or whatever. This is just a chatter. It doesn't need to be there. It has no function.
The cat, when it is there, it's like a watching of that.
Yes.
Okay, and then the energy of that belief will just gradually falls away then.
That's exactly right. Yeah, because what actually feeds it is the so-called investment. If you are invested in it and you say, oh yeah, I'm so bad, I have to work on myself, there is emotional charge to it. And that emotional charge is that life energy or that intelligence energy. When you watch it with completely no judgment, as if you were watching content of somebody else's thoughts, and you completely don't give a damn whatever it is, then it's not being fed. It's like you don't put the fuel on the fire, so it will slowly die out.
So this is like a practice. This is like
It's not really a practice. It's just what
Spontaneous
is the resonance. Like, see, when Bob was saying, don't go there, or you can't stop it because there is no you to stop it, but don't start. Well, obviously there is no you to start it either, and there is no you to not go there either. But paradoxically, when you drop that words, it may kind of strike through, it may resonate. As you were asking, what is that, what influences the energy? It is spontaneous, as Bob said, because it's all one. It kind of everything influences it. The weather, the diet, the somebody else's thoughts, the life incidents or accidents, like the whole universe influences every moment, because the whole universe is one, so it kind of dances within itself. And same with the idea, don't go there. Like, you sit in that silent space and somebody says don't go there. Yeah, but there's no me to go anywhere, so there's no me to not pick up this biscuit or this drink or whatever. So but if it strikes through, you stay in the silence and you don't go to even questioning, but there is me or no me, or what can I, just don't go to the head and start thinking. Stay in the space. But who is there to stay? Well, whoever hears what I'm saying. If the one who hears that I'm saying believes itself to be an ego, fine, I don't care. Okay, ego, don't go there. If you believe in an ego, fine. But if you know there is no ego, and it's still there is a resonance, don't go there. And the relaxations come with it. Good. If it doesn't, forget about it. I didn't say, doesn't matter. Debating it is again going back to the head, is leaving that space of non-conceptual awareness and trading that space of heart, non-conceptual kind of pure plain being, to the thinking, but this is wrong, I don't agree. Whatever, doesn't matter. It's just noise. It's just the narrative self. So some of the pointers, they're totally paradoxical, and we actually had a conflict. Wasn't conflict. There was a couple that Bob is talking to the husband, I'm talking to the wife, and the husband understood that you can exercise certain power because he heard Bob says, just don't pick it up, just don't go there. And she wanted a bikkie. And she asked him not to actually buy the bikkies because, she's got some sugar addiction. She doesn't want to have them home because she'll eat them. And he says, no, just don't tell yourself the story that you can't eat them, because this is just a story. Don't pick it up. He didn't understand what Bob was pointing. He took it literally, conceptually, as having a possibility or power, as the thought power that can tell you to stop. Well, I would say, okay, stop breathing for half an hour or so. See if you can really do it. You can't. But yes, certain thoughts feel like influencing you as if you can choose. That's the perfect illusion. That's why it feels like, okay, I choose not to smoke, I'm not going to smoke. It feels this way. But really, is it that I have chosen it? No. It's just that thought doesn't come with emotional charge. What you were saying, when you have the emotional charge and involvement, the energy, when you watch something happening, then obviously there is no, there is this very charge, this very energy make it perpetuate itself. Like if I would tell you go and kill someone, is that thought is not going to sit. It's not going to have any emotional charge. It just doesn't resonate, and you're not going to go and kill someone. But if I'm just looking at you and I say, I'm going to show you something. Could you just pause your thought for 1 second? You probably can do it, even though there is no you to do it. So that's the paradox. Certain thoughts have the emotional charge and they can be influenced by anything. Watch the movie on sugar and you can stop eating sugar. Who knows? And some other pattern of energy will watch the sugar movie and will keep eating sugar. And it's just everyone is different. It's not that obvious that, okay, black and white. Yeah, I can't do anything, so I can't stop smoking, or I can't stop thinking. Well, down on the depth of the ocean of the consciousness, that it's that underlying peace. And if that underlying peace somehow resonates with the reminder, you don't have to go there, you don't have to go and analyze, compare. And it kind of resonates and it sits. it will exercise action. It will really make the thinking stop, even for a moment. So that's why Bob throws all the pointers. He just throws the opportunity to resonate. You may resonate with the idea everything is just that energy vibrating. Somebody else won't. Somebody else will resonate with the idea, oh yeah, of course I'm not my mind because I can't choose my thoughts. That's why so many of them. It's enough to actually pick one, to resonate with just one and stay with it. Like, you already have quite a good grasp, as I gather. You see there is no mind, everything is just happening, we're just throwing thoughts and listening. Yeah, that's just what's happening. Why is it happening? Well, that's a story in the head. We can tell the story why, but what for? It's just what's happening. No reason, no meaning. Well, the body's speaking and listening, that's it.
Yeah, as they're saying, you know, if you say, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, that's true. As a person, you can't. You never have done and never will do. But you're still breathing, still out. What's doing it?
Mm.
And you were saying about belief. Just question all your beliefs and see if they know the belief's not the actual, are you going to muck around with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's only one thought that's pushing another thought away.
Yes. Yeah. Just the
That's
battle
all,
between thoughts.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the pushing that creates
Tension.
yeah.
Yeah.
Resistance, yeah.
And then you start taking sides, you know, this is the good thought, this is the bad thought, and you go on to complete schizophrenia. Now not only one self, now I have two selves fighting with each other, which is... But I remember that pointer, don't go there, or don't pick it up. Dave came here once, and he says for I don't know how many years, 8-10 years that he's been coming here, that was one most helpful thing ever, that completely brought him up from the point of anxiety into the point of peace. Just when the situation was getting a little bit hot, he would have the reminder popping up on the back of his head, don't go there. And he would remember, okay, stop thinking. Just don't go there. How practical. Even though logically we can rubbish that stupid pointer, like, what do you mean don't go there? There's no need to go anywhere, like, don't be stupid. What for? It is practical. It could actually really save your ass in the situation when you are totally tempted to get lost in the story.
I like the one, who's it happening to?
Yeah.
Because I know the me can only live in the memory, in the past or the future. So if I know that it's allegedly happening to me and I can't find a me, it just dissipates.
Mm-hmm.
That's been the most useful pointer here over the years. Who's it happening to? That just sort of stops everything.
Mm.
This argument says if the postman brings a parcel along and there's something about it, don't take delivery.
Yeah.
Say that again.
If the postman brings a parcel along and you know there's something you don't want in it, don't take delivery.
It's like when someone abuses you and throw all the nasty words at you, you're worthless, and you say, okay, that's the gift you're bringing to me, I'm not taking it.
Yeah, it does. That's true.
Sticks and stones.
Yeah.
That other one about the butts. Any of you have been smokers?
Yeah.
What did you do with your butts? Tossed them away.
Yeah.
When the next time a butt comes up, toss it away.
Yeah, butts, because they're all questions of the mind, aren't they?
And every bat takes you right away to the mind, just like most of the whys also. But why this way? Okay, I want explanation, I want meaning, I want to understand. Because somewhere along the way we learned that understanding will make us feel safe. That, oh no, I'm not anxious anymore because I know what's going on. Bullshit, I have no idea what is going on. I only have the story that I believe. It's actually finding comfort in not knowing what is going on. That's the freedom. I have absolutely no idea what's going on. No idea what I am, who I am, how long, nothing. And that's okay, because I can lie to myself that I know, and I can go about with that lie. And unfortunately, that angst, that ego, that hole, God-sized hole will tell me that, oh gosh, there's something not quite right, you know, I'm not really that safe with the story that I'm believing. It's not working. There must be another way. Not knowing is quite a good way, and like being honest about it.
And it wasn't the Sargata says not knowing is best.
Yeah.
But he means knowing this or knowing that, but the knowing is going on right now. Is anybody who's not knowing right now? You are. It's the concepts we put on it. Being, knowing, loving to be. Is that yet an end? And anyone can negate your beingness. We call ourselves human beings. We call God the Supreme Being. Take away that label supreme off. Take away the label human off. Separate the beingness in this room without putting any label on it. You say everything in this room is being, including you, me, the carpet, the chair, the lights, the glass. It's all being. Being a chair, being a glass, being. It's all that being. Being is not wasing or will be. It's not becoming. It's what is. Beingness is what is right now.
And that knowing is so simple. Like in the example I mentioned this morning about the couple we were both talking to, she knew she can't have a bickies at home. That was a knowing. But she didn't have a language. She didn't have 20 years of seeking behind her and 30 books or hours of listening to enlightened masters to have a language to defend it. So she couldn't go to the head and give her husband explanations why. But the simple knowing was there. Yeah, I know it. Just trust me. Just don't even go to the head and try to explain it or beat it up or justify or compare or whatever, because he actually has a quite good, he spent hours and years on seeking, so he knows the words. But the knowing, the innate knowing, before the thought even comes, the feeling, is the gut instinct, the innate knowing. That's what is worthy of paying attention, not the story that covers it up.
And everybody is already that. Always have been, always will be. There's only that. That's a chair, that's a carpet, that's the tree, that's the flower. Everything is that which we put labels on without the word. And in the beginning was the word. And then that's when we say when they began as separate entities. What was before that?
And knowing that, there aren't any questions.
Yes. And at that point, the best thing to do is actually refuse the invitation to these big discussions. Okay, now you knowing, but defend yourself. Tell me why, explain me, because what I've heard is different, so let's debate. Debating is again leaving the space of non-conceptual awareness. It's always better to just step down and be. Just stay in the being. Why? I don't know. I don't care. I can't defend myself. So what? Doesn't mean that I don't feel what I feel. That is true. But often at that stage it's quite easy to corner someone, put them in a corner and prove them wrong, and they start second-guessing or questioning themselves. Don't. Non-conceptual awareness, without those questioning, you are so absolutely certain of your being. That can't be questioned. It's just so simple. It's just so simple and so obvious. And yes, but yeah, you're laughing, of course, because come on, but what's a big deal about it, is it? Like, it can't be just it, It has to be something bigger or greater or better or more ecstatic or something.
It doesn't get any bigger or greater. Or
It does. It actually, is ever fresh. So every moment is fresh and new. And
what makes it better?
What makes it better is passing phenomena. It doesn't matter. So there may be a beautiful, profound insights of, oh my God, all of it is myself. And that will be a nice little moment of bliss. And the next moment, ever fresh and ever new, will say, yeah, but everything is nothing, it's nothing, there is just space here, just a point of consciousness. That's again another moment of bliss or understanding. There may be a wave of overwhelming love to everything or compassion, ever fresh, but all those things are passing phenomena. They all come and go. There is no constant recognition that I'm everything, because if it was constant, it would fall out of the radar. It will recalibrate the senses, and it would be completely off, zero, neutral. So the zero, the neutral, that's all. And now passing phenomena, pleasure, pain, day, night, inside, no inside, that's passing phenomena. But yes, when it opens up for it to actually dance for itself, to present itself in that sweet little insights, it's quite nice. Yeah. And then, of course, traveling lighter, what Jane says, yeah, the absence of suffering, absence of sense of incompleteness, unworthiness, absence of need to evaluate yourself all the time, of comparing yourself with others, of striving to be better or be different. That underlying peace, being completely at peace with whatever, with everything.
They call it, one would have to think the non-duality, they call it the absolute. What can you add to the absolute? What can you take away from it? It wouldn't be absolute if the minutest particle could be added to it, it wouldn't be absolute. The minutest particle would be taken away, it wouldn't be absolute. So you're already that. We tend to divide and put concepts on it with the great perfection. They call it, what can you add to the perfect? What can you take away from the perfect? And I tell you in Buddhism, the great perfection is non-conceptual awareness. Awareness without any concepts or mental constructs. Anyone who is unaware right now? No, you must realize, I'm not unaware, I must be aware. So there it is. What do you add to it? What do you take away from it?
So the only thing that's preventing seeing this is thoughts.
Yes. Nothing can trouble you except your own imagination. Shakespeare said nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so.
Yeah.
And lots of other scriptures and things will tell you the same thing. It's all thought. And even in the Bible, in the beginning was the Word. That you didn't begin or didn't know anything about it until the Word came on. And we've divided in words ever since. But the Word is not the real, as I pointed out. The Word's not the thing.
And you're not the content, you're the context. Yeah.
So all thoughts come from learned words. That's the connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the memory.
But they're not like a thought. It's not like it's an image. It's not a word.
It can be a word.
It can be, yeah, but it can also be.
Yeah, you're right. And then the image, you also kind of learn to label it out of existence.
This is all the steam, ice
Yes.
thing. Is it? They're all
Yeah, they're one and the same.
one and the same.
It's only really if something's done to the image. It's just that next moment where something's done with the thing before, and that's like, I just call it an assessment. It's the most basic. Yeah.
So it's just all learnt shit from about 3.
Yes.
In a nutshell.
So if you're brought up in China, you'd be speaking Chinese.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't understand a word you were saying if you were sitting there speaking in Chinese. So no, what you said would have absolutely no impact here. Zero. It would just be sound.
And would I think Chinese? I would think Chinese. Like when I'm thinking of words, I'll be thinking Chinese.
Yeah, if it was brought up in China, of course. And it would just be different sounds taking on different meanings. And it's the same with English. It's exactly the same with English. You know, ultimately, initially it starts off with we look at something, and then what happens is a sound gets invented for whatever that thing is that we're looking at. If I'm looking at you, I go person. It's just a sound. Then what we do is we attach a meaning to that sound. Look how far away we've already got from the actual. Yeah? Then we attach a meaning to that sound. Then what we do is we attach a huge big story to that meaning. Like a huge big story to that meaning. So we just keep moving further and further and further back, you know. And then there'll be another story, you know, about me. Now I'm affected by that sound. Like, really? So that's what's meant by the description is not the described, or the description is not the actual. It's only ever a description, and yet what we do is we take the description to be the actual. That's why we suffer. Because right here, right now, which is where we are, can't even, yeah, okay. Right here, right now is where we are, nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. And nothing ever happened right here, right now. Ever. Things can only seem to happen for an individual. And if there is no individual, if there is no person, if it is Father Christmas, which I love Kat's description of it, right? You know, if it's not real, then how can we say anything happened? If there's no one, nothing happened. Because all the happening happens seemingly for the supposed individual. Like your happening happens for you. Jane's happening happens for her. Kat's, Bob's, mine, all happens. Yeah? Why? Because we believe that there's someone here that it's happening to. When that false identity is seen through, or drops away, or dissolves, nothing happened. It was all a complete fabrication, nothing but a dream, and that's why that dream analogy is used all the time. It's literally just a dream. You know, what happens when you wake up in the morning after you've been dreaming? What can we say happened to the dream when you wake up? Like, what happens to it? It just dissolves. It just drops off of itself. Yeah? The dream character in the dream, your dreamed character in the dream, can't know what it's like to be awake, even if it wants to. Even if that's what's going on in the dream. Yeah, I'm talking about the sleeping dream when you're laying on your bed. Yeah, this dream character in the dream, all it wants is it wants to know, it wants to be awake, and it's not possible.
When they let go of the dream, they wake up. Like when you're waking, you, for want to use a term, when you let go of the waking state, you become enlightened.
When you let go of the waking state?
Like you let go of the dream, you wake up.
But the problem with that is that there's nobody to let go of it. It just happens. That implies that there's still something I have to do, or there's still something I have to see, or there's ultimately something I've got to let go of, and that is first the recognition that it's a dream, and now what I've got to do is let go of it.
And someone who's enlightened also.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
one to be enlightened.
Yeah. And that entity that believes it's got to see the dream and now let go of the dream is the character in the dream.
That's belief again then.
Yep.
Foiled again.
So,
But I've been in a dream, and then I've realised I'm dreaming, and all the anxiety disappears, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
So, you know, a dream character.
Sure, but it's
Yeah.
but the
It's
reality
like
of that.
right now.
But
It's like that right now.
it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
The reality.
I just need to become a dream character properly.
Yeah.
we'll go back to what Terry said before about sound. Take that back a bit further. What's sound? A vibration. What's a vibration? A movement of energy. It stirs and forms a sound, a vibration. And that's what they tell you in the scriptures. Shiva Shakti. Shiva, the static aspect. Shakti, the female, the dynamic aspect. Shakti starts to vibrate or dance and the world appears. That's all it is, a vibrating pattern of energy. And different sounds go to different patterns. Sounds become the word.
And instead of letting go of the dream, the shortcut is let go of the dreamer. And the dream will still go on, but there is no one who takes credit for dreaming it. There is no one who says, I'm thinking, I'm seeing, I'm acting. It's just life expressing through the pattern, just like the cat or dog. They don't believe in free will or decision making. As far as we know neuroscience, they don't have the narrative self developed. And that narrative self is the one that takes credit for the dreaming, that this is my dream, this is relevant to me. And what Terry was saying about the meaning, the meaning is relevant to me. There is always, the neutral events are going on and they are translated as relevant to me. And that very me that they're relevant to is just an image made of memories, made of thoughts, that doesn't have existence. Yes.
And becoming out of that vibration.
Exactly, yeah, just a bundle of thoughts playing with each other, a bundle of vibrations just dancing with each other. But now the consciousness or the space or the non-conceptual awareness is like a screen for all that to happen. When you realize that you are none of those thoughts arguing between each other, but you are the screen on which all that scenery is going on, you're free from investment, from the personal. It just becomes impersonal. And that's the freedom, because then it doesn't sting anymore.
It says, you're dreaming a dream you call the world. Stop looking for ways out. You'll never get out of that dream. The dream is not your concern. Your concern is that you're trying to work the dream out because you love one part of it and hate the other. He says, love all of it or none of it, and the rest will be done for you. It'll come up out of itself, work itself out.
Which means just take away personal involvement.
And the Buddha said onto that, let it rest in its uncontrived singularity. It's a singularity, one without a second, non-dual. Don't contrive it by conceptualizing, putting more on it. Leave it as it is.
Everything's perfectly resolved.
That's another one, yeah. Why exchange the unborn for thought?
But what Janine was saying, that was valid also. Like, when the thought is coming up and you see there is involvement in the thought, you're watching the thought. But you can also watch the emotional involvement. And you, the moment you step back, you are watching always from that place that is before the involvement. If you see the emotion, it means emotion is an object in the consciousness. So you are prior to the emotion watching it as an object. So even if the thought is really engaging and it's really personal and it's so charged and strong, it's seeing that thought and that charge, you are seeing it from the point of being kind of at distance with it, from being free from it. And just moment to moment, even if you have judgment of yourself watching it, just one step before that judgment even occur, include whatever is happening, include as a content. And then you will be that space from which the content is being known.
And it's only habit to fall back into content.
Totally.
Because that's what's been believed.
Yeah.
To be caught in content.
Conditioned for years. This habit that you practiced for all your life.
And you know you can break habits.
Yeah.
And that's gradual. That just falls away. It just gradually falls away then.
Well, whether it's gradual or rapid, it doesn't matter, it'll fall away because the energy doesn't go into it. Nothing can live without energy. Don't put any energy or belief into it.
Yeah, it's different for everyone. For some people it is very sudden, very rapid, and most of conditioning drops out in one moment. And for many, many people it's very gradual, with a little moments of awakening. And for yet many other people, and there was statistics, the guy who started researching it, he made a statistic among people who are visible, Buddha at the gas pump and so on. So about 70% had a rapid shift. But he didn't really encounter those who just live around, like my clients. I have a couple of clients who are fully, in my judgment, fully free from any selfishness. They didn't have anything. They didn't even know what was. It's just natural, slow transition, which hasn't even been noticed if it's not been pointed out. So whether it is gradual or is sudden or is semi-sudden or is few thresholds that come out, or few moments of realization which patterns are not working anymore, like the patterns of analyzing the past may be gone, and fear of future still habitually hanging on. It may be dropping off another day. It doesn't really matter, because the creativity of consciousness makes it uniquely different in every single pattern. So like snowflakes.
And realise that gradual or sudden implies time.
Yeah.
See if there's any time.
Yeah, that's so good point. Rather than analyzing how it is happening for me and just evaluating it and going to the head and having a story about it, just instead of that, just see, but I am that right now. Whatever hangs on and whatever doesn't, who cares? It's just the content of consciousness.
And ultimately, there's no one to wake up suddenly or slowly. There's no one there. The absolute reality is there's no one here. There's no one there. We think a me into existence, and we think another into existence. That's the way thinking happens.
That's it.
Swings in duality, and the dualistic thought cannot even conceive of the idea of absence of itself. Can't. All it needs to be seen is it's all a dream. Literally the same as what happens when you're asleep at night. Yeah? The character in the dream and all the content in the dream when you're laying on the bed at night asleep seems real. It totally seems real. Feelings, fear, sexual activity, whatever it is that's going on in the dream, when you're in it, seems real. Absolutely seems real. Until one wakes up from the dream in the morning and it just drops. Here's the problem though. That dream drops and a split second later we pick up another one. That's the waking dream. Yeah. And we take that waking dream to be just as real as the dream we were having when we were on our bed at night, sleeping. The character in the dream that thought, oh, this is real in the dream. It happens in a split second. And it's just all like, if we have three things, okay? We've got the content of thought that happens throughout the course of the day, which is all about me. It is, right? So we've got that going on. Then we've got the content of the dream that happens when we're asleep at night on the bed, okay? And then we've got this right here, right now, here. Just here. No words attached to it, just here. Which two out of those three are most similar?
The dream and the waking.
The dream and the...
So I didn't catch how you referred to the first two.
Okay, so the first one is the content of your dream when you're asleep. Okay? And the second one is the content of the stuff that goes on in your head when you're walking around now.
They're the most similar, those two.
Yeah.
And the now is...
What can you say about it?
Nothing.
You can't say a single solitary thing about here. Nothing. Nothing. And that's the absence of both those dream states, if you want to call it that. Where you wind up, nothing.
Because if you add anything to the nothing, it's content.
Correct. The only thing that would be adding anything to the content is the dreamed character.
Where does knowing come in nothing?
There isn't.
No.
There actually isn't. Again, that's a pointer. Presence, being, awareness, consciousness, none of them are true, actually. Because they're all things, or they're all ideas, or they're all pointers. And they're great pointers. They're okay in and of themselves. But ultimately, there isn't anything.
That's what Terry started off with. He said, no one. That's pure non-duality. One without a second. Not even one. Okay, time's caught up with us.
Thank you.
That time that doesn't exist.
That one time.